Rhystic Study. These are some of the impactful cards that came out of Magic's 20th expansion, Prophecy.
But that's not the card we're talking about today. No, today we're talking about the sleeper picks. Those under-the-radar commander cards that we think might have some playable value.
And the video starts right now.
Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who power our channel. Check out our Patreon for monthly giveaways, exclusive content, and even a starring role in our fan fight series. Link in the description below.
Hello and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. We are going to talk about Prophecy and the Commander sleeper picks that we have found in that set. But first, if you would do us a favor, go down there and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It lets us know that you like this video and you want to see more like it.
What you need to know about our sleeper picks is it's not exactly cards that are going to explode in value, but they are instead cards that are very cheap from the set, that have a niche and sometimes really impactful use in EDH. So these are all going to be cards that are like $2 or $3 or less. You're not going to see anything like Rhystic Study in these videos, or any of the most expensive cards from any of these sets.
Aura Fracture is where we're starting. 1 white, 2 other, 4. An enchantment that lets you sack a land to destroy target enchantment. I love this in like a Bant ramp kind of build where you're absolutely just crapping lands onto the battlefield the entire time. Why not put the extra ones to use toward the end and destroy that pesky enchantment that's getting you down?
Sure, and if you have something like Crucible of Worlds or any kind of effect like Ramunap Excavator that's going to allow you to play lands from your graveyard, then you really don't care and you're able to use these you just use your lands as a resource, and you can do it at instant speed. It's excellent.
Yep, absolutely. We have another common. With Prophecy, there were some very powerful commons in this set for EDH. Calming Verse, a green and 3 other, destroy all enchantments you don't control. Then, if you control an untapped land, destroy all enchantments you do control. So, hint,
seems
tap
good.
all your mana to play this, and then use the extra mana to cast stuff after Calming Verse. Right, exactly.
Pro tip, use all of your mana.
This is a card you want to tap out to play, I promise. I don't care how many lands you have. Use the mana in your pool to do something else. Don't do this when you might want to use an instant before it's your turn again. That's Calming Verse to me. That's one that can be very impactful. Citadel of Pain is up next.
Yeah, at the end of each player's turn, Citadel of Pain deals X damage to that player, where X is a number of untapped lands he or she controls. So this is a card that we've seen before. If you are a veteran at the EDH or the Commander table, then you know about this card, but it is very good. It is kind of a pesky card that control players are just going to absolutely hate. So it's just, it's very powerful. It's an enchantment, so we know what an enchantment is.
Sticky.
That's right. It's hard to get rid of. It normally takes an important effect to answer an enchantment, and 3/5 of the color wheel have a really hard time answering enchantments.
Wow, hitting them with the fractions today. Citadel of Pain is a card that I see run alongside Squandered Resources, an enchantment from Odyssey, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of times, because it punishes that keep your lands untapped and play things at instant speed strategy. Let's get into the rares. Jolrael, not my name, but close. Empress of Beasts, 2 green, 3 other, for a legend that's a 3/3, but this effect is where the fun lies. 1 green, 2 other, tap Jolrael, discard 2 cards from your hand. Until end of turn, all lands target player controls are 3/3 creatures that are still lands. I promise you, Jake goes, Wrath of God? And I go, okay, in response, Jolrael, discard 2 cards, all your lands are now creatures. Your go.
Yeah,
that's
and if you have
putting
something
the
like
Jake on tilt for sure.
Oh my gosh, and you have to think if this is built into like a teamer build, you could play Leyline of Anticipation or anything that's going to give your stuff flash this in, and then for 2 or for a green and 2 other, you're making all the lands like it, and I'm just talking about like in response to a board wipe, just like not even having this on the field. This card is really degenerate. It's very cheap. It's like 35 cents, or like just like red green beats. All of a sudden you make all of your opponent's lands 3/3s, and then you Anger of the Gods or you Slag Storm. Like
that's what I'm saying.
There are a lot of ways. Blasphemous Act. Like it is very silly how good this card is. If this were played against me after reading it, and I had never seen it until we decided to do this series, I would just be like, we must answer that,
That's gotta
or
die.
else we are in trouble.
Right, exactly. Also, this is a little bit more of a timely joke, but this would be a great card to alter with Joe Exotic and like laying with his tigers. You know what? It's a little Tiger King meme. If you haven't seen that show on Netflix, go check it out. Well of Discovery. We're moving on from Tiger King. Well of Discovery is an artifact, 6 cost. At the end of your turn, if you control no untapped lands, draw a card. This rewards you tapping out. I love it.
I like this kind of card for decks that have a hard time drawing cards. This isn't the kind of card that I'm just going to jam in just because it's an artifact into whatever. Like if I'm playing a red-blue deck or if I'm playing some sort of Grixis build, most likely I'm going to have no problem drawing cards.
Yeah, anything with black, blue, green, you probably have access to way better card draw, and that's obvious. But, you know, white, red, this is where you might want to go.
Yeah, this is really cool, and it's passive. It doesn't require a tap or an activation. It just simply has to do with no untapped lands.
Yeah, exactly right. Heightened Awareness is up next. 2 blue, 3 other. As it comes into play, discard your hand. Wow. Then you get a sticky enchantment left behind that says at the beginning of your draw step, draw a card.
Card advantage.
Single-sided Howling Mine.
Built-in redundancy.
Right.
And that's really what it's about. And this is a card, it costs 5. In EDH, that's like nothing.
Yeah.
And here at the Commander Sleeper series, we aren't talking about competitive EDH and the spikiest decks. We're talking about good, useful cards that are casual at like a 7 to 8 power level, kind of like around there.
Yeah.
Maybe less. But this is a really cool effect. I don't think I really need to sell it much more than what it is. It's an enchantment that's just going to net you an extra card.
Card draw is always good. We love
Velocity,
it.
man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Celestial Convergence, 2 white, 2 others. So we got Wrath of God mana for an enchantment. Comes into play with 7 Omen counters. Beginning of your upkeep, you're going to remove a counter. Then check and see if there are no Omen counters on it. And if that's true, the player with the highest life total wins the game. Just game over with this. I love this card. I love any card that says you win the game.
And before you go and look it up, this card is completely legal. I know it says win the game and it seems kind of silly, but if you build it into a really good kind of life gain strategy, oh man, I think it will be very difficult for your opponent to get ahead of this.
I look at this as a win con in a very cool Orzhov deck where you can gain life and tax people and wipe the board and keep the game going. You've got
You're talking about a Loro.
Yeah, something like that. Well, yeah, you could even use it in an Esper build, but in a deck where it's taxing everybody, you've got across black and white, you've got removal and exile for everything. That could be affecting you. Eventually, you'll draw your Demonic Tutor, go get Celestial Convergence, you know, figure out a way to Phyrexian Revoker off all of the counters, and you've won the game. It sounds like a pretty sweet little combo.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I like it.
And we're still at a time in Magic where the art was super dope on pretty much all of them, and it looked like a scary fantasy game. Griel Mindraker. Speaking of scary fantasy games, Griel Mindraker is our last one here. 2 black, 3 other for a Spellshaper Legend. Black and X, tap, discard 2 cards from your hand, very similar to Joel Rail. Target player discards X cards at random from his or her hand. Oh, wow. You want to tilt somebody off the table? Play Griel Mindraker and activate it at them.
And just so you know, this is a legend. So this could be your commander if you wanted it to be.
Yep, absolutely.
This is a spicy card. Late game in EDH, you're looking for effects that you can dump mana into and ways that you can utilize what you have on your board to get the most out of something. You know, if you have 2 cards in your hand and they're like a couple lands, or it's just like something like that's kind of like very medium, then I would say, yeah, pitch those 2 cards, make sure that you empty your opponent's hand, dump all of your mana into it, whatever you need to do, make sure that you get all of those cards discarded.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty cool card.
Absolutely.
A lot of the time we don't put creatures on here, and it's because creatures are squishy, and if you're in a good EDH play group, then creatures are going to get answered with spot removal. But some EDH play groups really lack spot removal, and so players are able to just kind of run rampant and do whatever they want, and so that's something to think about as well. Make sure you know your play group and what you can get away with.
Know your play group and what you can get away with. That is our prophecy picks for Commander Sleeper Series. Look, we have got a playlist full of Commander Sleeper Series videos. If you like this video, there's a lot more like it. Go find that playlist and check it out. There's a ton of sets. We are working through every set eventually, and we've got a big chunk of them taken care of.
We won't do
so
alpha
far.
or beta or unlimited. We won't do Arabian Nights or
We're looking
Legends
for sleepers,
or,
you know.
yeah, we're looking for sleepers, not sets that have already exploded in value. So,
like we said, if you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It lets us know that you like this video and want to see more like it. If you want to support us further, we've got a Patreon. The link is down in the description below. We got monthly giveaways going on over there, so make sure to go check it out and see if you're a good fit. And if you want to hang out with us, we're streaming twice weekly over on Twitch. Jake, did I say leakly or weekly?
you said something, but it is weekly. Most of the time we stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but for now we're just gonna go wash our hands.
Later.